What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And this one is from episode 4, A Rock and A Farway. In this video, I will break down everything that happened in this episode and tell you what I think is going to happen in the future. What up to my thugs, nerds, freaks, and geeks? You're now rocking with the best of Don Tony Teflon. If you can, please subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. And as always, 500 is the like goal. If this video hits 500 likes, I will give a subscriber who leaves a comment on this video 1 month of EPIX for free, so you can keep on watching this great show. And I like the show. I'm very much into it. I hope you are too. Could it be the new Lost, the new Walking Dead? Time will tell. We'll see how it picks up. But let's get right into this episode. And I think this can be considered the episode of Victor, right? We see Victor early as a child, and we realize that Victor's been here a long time. Been here since he's been a kid. So this has been going on for a very long time, and we see him with his little lunch pail, metal lunch pail. That is definitely a 70s thing going on there. So Victor has been there for a very long time. We see him drawing a picture of Julie while she's asleep. She wakes up to this and has to be freaked out. I would be if someone's drawing a picture of me while I'm sleeping, so she's freaked out about that. And then we see Julie kind of have second thoughts about where she's being at. She's getting jacked for her clothes, right, while she's up there, and she's starting to think, maybe I did not make the right decision staying here with these people. Maybe I should have stayed with my mother and father. A lot of this episode is focused on the aftermath of last episode. Frank being dead and his family being dead. And we see Boyd this mad upset that he was the one who put him in that box and got him eaten alive by these monsters. And we see the father there preparing for his funeral. And, they get into a little bit, and he's telling them, listen, are you going to tell the people that it was you who wanted to put him in that box? And you were the one who wanted him dead. And we start to see our grouping. Who's going to be with each other from this series going forward, and Kenny and Jade are two of them. We see them go down into, let's call it a crypt. It's more like a cellar, but we'll call it a crypt down there. And he starts to explain to him about what he's seen down there, now that he believes what's going on. In the beginning, he thought it was just a gag, but now he knows the deal, and he brings him down there to show him that. And I like his approach because he seems to be the only person who's trying to get out of this situation. Everyone else seems to they're accustomed to this life. They're just going to deal with it. They're going to live their life in this town. This is what it is. There's no escape. But he, being fresh, being new, is more like, listen, there has to be a way out. There has to be a reason why we're here. And that's what he's trying to do. Get everybody out. Or get himself out, really. So Jim takes his son Ethan down to the diner because he wants some pancakes. While he gets down there, he introduces them both to Sarah. Now, Sarah's possessed. We see this later on when she has the writing in her arm, kind of like The Exorcist. So something's going on with Sarah. I think we could disagree that she's possessed by one of these creatures. The thing to notice about it is that when they get there, the table they sit at, the jukebox goes on for some reason. Now, this is very important because we see something else later on that keys back to this. So when he bounces to the bathroom, Victor comes in, he sits down with Ethan, shows him a picture. Victor has a bunch of pictures that he drew over the years of this boy, the same boy that Ethan had, same outfit and everything. We find out that this boy also came to Victor when he was young. He also tells him that the trees have moved 4 inches. It's weird because this boy he's seeing, he draws him in a picture of him surrounded by the trees, the boy in the forest. Jim then comes out, he sees Victor sitting there with his son, he flips out, he grabs him up, he's like, basically, I'm gonna hurt you if you come around my kid again, and tosses him out. We bounce back to Julie, she's just like, I don't even know if I should be in here, people are taking my shit. Fatima's like, listen, calm down, I'm gonna show you the ropes, how to survive up in this piece. She brings her outside, she gives her this fancy shirt and everything else, and shows her, listen, if you want your stuff back, listen, just go on laundry duty, basically you get all your stuff. This chick just be bagging up everybody's stuff. That's when the mom comes up there, and the mom sees her, and the mom gives her a sweater that she was that she found in the luggage earlier, but then after their conversation, we learned that the family was about to break up. This was going to be their last family vacation, and she knew about it, and she's cool where she's at. She ain't trying to go back. Kenny and Jade wind back up in the police station. He shows him the map, and the map has a bunch of pins on it. Each pin represents a different resident of this little town they're at. And each one of these residents all came from a different direction, but still got trapped here. Which Jade is like, this is impossible. Someone's doing this, and I'm going to figure out how. And that's when the CB goes off and it has static, and he's like, oh, it does it sometimes. He grabs that and runs off. See, this is what I'm saying. This guy's active. He does not want to just sit back and live his life out in this town like it seems that everybody else is willing to do. He wants to get to the bottom of it. Victor then takes Ethan into the woods in search of this boy, and he says to him the first time he's seen this boy was before the first two cars came. Right when those first two cars came, that's when he first seen this boy. So this all had to happen all the way back in the 70s. We also hear in this conversation with Ethan that he's been here the longest out of everyone. So obviously he didn't just stumble there by himself. He must have had his parents. His parents have passed away. And he says that for a long time, he was the only person that was there. Victor won't talk about his parents or how he got there. But then Ethan says that he had a little brother named Thomas who died when he was a baby. So we see that some of that is still the grief that the parents are going through. Something of that could have helped led to this divorce that's going on. They hear twigs snapping in the distance. He's like, get down for a second, and they spot the little boy in white walking through the woods and then try to follow him. It's at this point where we find out exactly what the title of this show means, because he brings Ethan over to a tree he calls a faraway tree. He has a rock. He puts a face on this with his little crayons, and he drops the rock inside of the tree, and then the rock comes from the sky. So he puts it in the tree, it goes down, then the rock all of a sudden comes dropping out of the sky. And he says this is not the only tree that can do this. Now he says to him that this doesn't just work on rocks, it works on people too. So if you go inside there, you can show up anyway. So that's the problem. You have no idea where you're going to show up. It could be somewhere far away. It could be somewhere close. You have no idea. Now, he also explains to him there's a bunch of these trees, but this one particular he never seen before. After that, they hear a bunch of dogs barking. All right, Ethan's parents, they go out there looking for him because he's not home. Eventually, they do run into him. But before they run into him, they get surrounded by a pack of dogs. And Victor, who has a gun inside of his lunch pail, shoots it in the air, scares off the dogs, and they grab up their son. I got ahead of myself. Let me go back real quick. When the dogs initially bark, Victor can hear him, but no one else can hear him. They show a flashback of him and the little boy they were chasing in the woods in white in town. A bunch of bodies all dead, dogs eating at the bodies, and this kid going around on the merry-go-round. Victor goes back to his house. He looks through all the drawings he has. Now, how he has crayons that's lasted all this time is another issue, but we'll see. He takes 4 pictures and hangs them on his door. One is the little boy, one is the dogs, one is the tree, and one is the masker that he seen the boy while he was riding on the carousel. Jim, thinking that Victor is some type of pedophile, goes to boys like, listen, this guy's got a gun in his lunch pail. He took my son out in the woods. And he's like, all right, it's not my people. Let me go talk. Let me make sure. I'll make sure that doesn't happen. But we should get to know each other better. We should go to the diner. We flash over to Julie real quick, and they hook her up. Like before, she was sleeping on the couch with another woman's pillow. They go and they get her own little room. Not her own room, but her own spot in the room where it's the nice bed where she can keep her clothes there, and she has curtains that she can just sit there and pull them back when she wants to be alone. And she's all like, all right, I did make the right choice. She's feeling very welcomed at this point. Jim, Tabitha, and Ethan go meet Boyd at the diner, and this is when we get to the ending, basically, where we see Sarah. She gets the exorcist mark on her arm. It appears in her arm, and it says to kill the boy, meaning Ethan. And then we see Victor after that going and digging graves, and they come out and say, why are you digging graves? They're like, I want to get a jump on things that are gonna happen. And that's where we're left off on this episode. Very good episode. I think that now that I'm into it and I got it, I have a bunch of theories that I think of what's going on. I think I figured out exactly how they can get out of this place. Only thing I'm not sure on is this goddamn crayons and the goddamn food. Where are they getting all this food from? Where are they getting these crayons from? That's what I don't know about. But everything else I think I got, and I'll do a theory video. I'm also going to do a live stream with LMR, Lady and Don podcast, about this show. So make sure you're subscribed so that when we do go live, you will be notified when we go live and you could join us in the conversation and come with all your theories. Also, put your theories, what you think about the show, in the comment section. I'll drop another video this week talking about my theories for this show. Again, if this video hits 500 likes, let's get there, people. We can do it. If it hit 500 likes, I will give away 1 month of EPIX to a subscriber who leaves a comment on this video. So if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and as always, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.